Welcome to the DragonLance Saga Gaming Advanced Dungeons & Dragons episodes. This is the third in the series. It is Braca, Floor Green the 29th, and my name is Adam. Dragonlance came out of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, so I thought it'd be fun to read the core rules aloud and discuss them with a live audience. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, and you can support this channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, a member of this YouTube channel, and you can pick up Dragonlance gaming materials using my affiliate link, and all links are in the description below. Before I dive into this episode of Gaming AD&D, I did want to talk about my schedule briefly and what you as an audience can expect out of this channel. Now, this is all about Dragonlance Saga, so on Tuesdays, I'll release a Dragonlance settings video. This is all about the campaign world itself, from the characters to the histories to the lore to everything in between. On Wednesdays, you can expect a mail episode. And this is where I am retrieving old lost editions of Dragonlance books or games or calendars or some sort of memorabilia. I don't know if that's going to last too long because ultimately I'll run out of stuff to pick up. But it's also a way of me to recollect what I gave away a while ago. So those are on Wednesdays. And on Thursdays, you have a reading episode. Now, what I've been doing thus far are poems, but ultimately I'll get into some of the old comics and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the Dragonlance channel schedule of release. It's going to be settings on Tuesdays, mail on Wednesdays, and readings on Thursdays. Now, what you've realized is that I've thrown out creators, news, and these different gaming episodes on the other days of the week. Those are all bonus content. They are not guaranteed to happen on any schedule, and that's why you don't see these live episodes coming up, a day before, letting you know what time they're going to go live. It's really based on the free time, the limited free time that I can find in my day, and whether or not I want to, put out something like this. For these gaming Advanced Dungeons and Dragons episode, I'm only going to do like an hour, or maybe I'll play a game for an hour or two. So that's why, it's got to fit in my schedule. Now, these are all traditionally going to end up being like 1080p releases. When you're looking at the settings, mail, or reading episodes, those are all in 4K. I do my best to make the highest quality video available to you. So that is my plan anyway. So let's get into today's reading. If you'll remember, we left off with the magic user. Hey Roger, thanks for joining us live. I appreciate you. You wish they would do more anime. Well, I agree. Hopefully with next year's release of the books, if they're actually going to be released next year's release of the novels, maybe we'll get a Dragonlance campaign setting, and maybe we'll get, some video shorts like they just recently released for Forgotten Realms through Wizards of the Coast. But who knows? I mean, they've ignored the Dragonlance community for a long time, and let's be honest, the Dragonlance community has been doing their own thing. Like Dragonlance Nexus has been killing it with creating their own setting content for the different editions. And they're doing it with 5th edition right now. So, we've always sort of taken care of our own, regardless of who owns the IP, and I see that we'll continue doing that in the future. All right, here we go. Picking up with the magic user. It is absolutely essential to have high intelligence for a character who is a magic user, especially if a broad selection of spells is to be had, as well as the use of the highest level of spells. A magic user must have an intelligence of no less than 9 and a minimum dexterity of 6. For details of the effects of intelligence on spell use, see character abilities. A magic user with intelligence of 16 or more also gains the benefits of adding 10% to experience points awarded to him or her by the dungeon master. Magic users draw upon arcane powers in order to exercise their profession. While they have mighty spells of offensive, defensive, and informational nature, magic users are very weak in combat. They have but 4-sided dice, D4, to determine how many hit points of damage they can withstand, and magic users have the least favorable table and progression as regards missile and melee combat. Furthermore, they can wear no armor and have few weapons they can use, for martial training is so foreign to magic use as to make the two almost mutually exclusive. Magic users can be of any alignment, explained hereafter. When a magic user begins his or her profession, the character is usually assumed to possess a strange tome in which he or she has scribed the formulae for some of the spells known to the character. The spell book and each book later added, as the magic user advances in levels of ability, a book of spells for each higher level of spells which become usable will have to have been prepared through study and research, must be maintained by the magic user. He or she must memorize and prepare for the use of each spell, and its casting makes it necessary to reabsorb the incantation by consulting the proper book of spells before it can be again cast. See character spells for more details. As with all other types of spells, these magic users must be spoken or read aloud. There are many powerful items of magic which only this class of character can employ. Most magic scrolls, wands, staves, and many of the miscellaneous items of magic are usable only by this class. Thus, while magic users are not strong in combat with weapons, they are possibly the most fearsome of all character classes when high levels of ability are finally attained. Survival to that point can be a problem, however, as low-level magic users are quite weak. When a magic user attains 11th level, wizard, or higher, he or she may enchant items or scribe magic scrolls. This process requires the undivided attention of the magic user for quite long periods of time, weeks to months, and it is also costly. As the dungeon master is carefully instructed to keep exact record of game time spent in such activity, the magic user will effectively remove himself or herself from a number of adventures while enchanting items or inscribing scrolls of magic spells. As this relative inactivity means that the character will not get experience points and treasure, monetary or magical, gained from adventures which take place during the inactive period, it is not unusual for a wizard to manufacture many items or scrolls. However, as occasional enchantment of items or penning of magic scrolls will take place, your referee has complete information on the process, including probabilities, time required, materials needed, and costs. It is possible for a magic user of 12th or higher level to construct a stronghold and clear the countryside in a 10 or 12 mile radius of all monsters, thus ruling an area much as a noble. If this is accomplished, a revenue of 5 silver pieces per inhabitant per month is generated in the territory ruled. All right, I want to show you guys the magic users table 1. So this is your experience point, experience level, accumulated hit points, and level title. I love these level titles. I mean, if you're a good level 10 magic user, are you going to walk around with the title of Necromancer? Isn't that like an inherently negative thing? Like a bad thing? I play with the, I raise the dead? I don't know. I think it's interesting. All right, let's move on. Oh, hold on. We got to do the last bits here at the top. I love you end with Archmage. And then, of course, we have our spells usable by class and level for magic users, which, my goodness, that's a lot. Imagine 29th level magic user. You're whipping took us at that point. That's great. All right, let's go to Illusionist. The Illusionist. Illusionists form a subclass of magic users, and in most respects they conform to the characteristics of the latter. To be an illusionist, a character must have a minimum intelligence of 15 and a minimum dexterity of 16. A high manual dexterity is required in casting of the spells used by this class. An important difference between illusionists and magic users is that the former do not gain any experience bonus for having high scores in their required abilities of intelligence and dexterity. While being equal or even slightly inferior to normal magic users in most respects, illusionists have different and highly effective spells to employ. A perusal of the number and types of spells usable by illusionists, see character spells, will reveal that they are at least as powerful as normal magic users and possibly slightly more potent at very high levels. The power of illusionists due to their spells is offset, however, by the limitations placed upon the magic items they can use. The magical items usable by Illusionist class characters are enumerated below. All potions, not restricted to fighters only. Illusionist scrolls and magic user scrolls which contain spells usable by Illusionists. All rings, rod of cancellation, staff of striking, and wands of enemy detection, fear, illusion, magic detection, metal and mineral detection, secret door and trap detection, wonder. Miscellaneous magic items usable by every class of characters. Crystal balls, but not with any added powers. All robes, excluding Robe of the Archmagi, and books and similar written works readable by magic users. Artifacts, which are not prescribed items with respect to Illusionists, such as armors, swords, axes, etc. And magic daggers. Illusionists are capable of manufacturing those magical items which create or sustain illusion. They may do so at 10th level Illusionist and above. This is done in much the same manner in which regular magic users create magic items. Alright, and right here we have our Illusionist Magic Users Table 1 for experience points, level, hit points, and title. What's your favorite title here? On any of these classes, really, but Kabbalists. That's a pretty good title. I dig that. Spells usable by class and level for Illusionists. Noise. Alright. Let's see what's next. This is some people's favorite here. The Thief. The profession of thief is not dishonorable, albeit is neither honorable nor highly respected in some quarters. The major ability of a thief is dexterity, and a character must have not less than 9 to become a thief. High intelligence is also desirable. Any thief character with a dexterity greater than 15 gains the benefit of being able to add a bonus of 10% to experience points awarded to him or her by the referee. A glance at the character ability section preceding this will reveal that high dexterity also benefits thieves in the performance of their class functions. These functions are detailed a bit later. All thieves are neutral or evil, although they can be neutral good, rarely, and of lawful or chaotic nature. Most thieves tend towards evil. Thieves are principally meant to take by cunning and stealth. Thieves have 6-sided hit die, d6. They are, however, able to wear light leather armor and use a fair number of weapons. Although they fight only slightly more effectively than do magic users, they are able to use stealth in combat most effectively by backstabbing. This ability is explained hereafter. No, Roger, they don't in this first edition have a War Mage, that I know of, unless you want to consider a War Mage a fighter magic user, which they do have. The primary functions of a thief are 1. Picking pockets, 2. Opening locks, 3. Finding, removing traps, 4. Moving silently, and 5. Hiding in shadows. These functions are basically self-explanatory. The chance for success of any performance is based on the ability of the thief performing it. This is modified with respect to picking pockets by the experience level of his or her victim and by the power of the observer with respect to hiding in shadows. These functions are detailed as follows. 1. Picking pockets or folds of a garment or a girdle also includes such activities as pilfering and filching small items. It is done by light touch and sleight of hand. Opening locks includes figuring out how to open sliding puzzle locks and foiling magical closures. It is done by picking with tools and by cleverness, plus knowledge and study of such items. 3. Finding, removing traps pertains to relatively small mechanical devices, such as poisoned needles, spring blades, and the like. Finding is accomplished by inspection, and they are nullified by mechanical removal or by being rendered harmless. 4. Moving slightly is the ability to move with little sound and disturbance, even across a squeaky wooden floor, for instance. It is an ability which improves with experience. 5. Hiding in shadows is the ability to blend into darkened areas, to flatten oneself, and, by remaining motionless when in sight, to remain unobserved. It is a function of dress and practice. Thanks for joining, Mark. Yeah, old school AD&D, gotta love it. Second Secondary functions of a thief are 1. Listening at doors to detect sounds behind them, 2. Ascending and descending vertical surfaces such as walls, and 3. Backstabbing those who happen upon the thief in the performance of his or her profession. These functions are described as follows. 1. Listening at doors includes like activity at other portals such as windows. It is accomplished by moving silently to the door and pressing an ear against it to detect sound. 2. Ascending and descending vertical surfaces is the ability of the thief to climb up and down walls. It assumes that the surface is coarse and offers ledges and cracks for toe and hand holds. 3. Backstabbing is the striking of a blow from behind, be it with a club, dagger, or sword. The damage done per hit, twice normal for that weapon used per 4 experience levels of the thief, i.e. double damage at levels 1 through 4, triple at 5 through 8, quadruple at levels 9 through 12, and quintuple at levels 13 to 16. Note that striking by surprise from behind also increases the hit probability by 20%, plus 4 on the thief's 2-hit die roll. Additional abilities will accrue to thieves are 1. All thieves, regardless of alignment, have their own language. The thieves can't. This language is known in addition to others which may be learned because of race and or intelligence. 2. At 4th level, burglar, thieves are able to read 20% of languages, and this ability increases by 5% with each additional level of experience until an 80% probability is attained. This enables the possible reading of instructions and treasure maps without having to resort to a magical item or spell. 3. At 10th level, Master Thief, thieves are able to decipher magical writings and utilize scrolls of all sorts, excluding those of clerical but not druidic nature. However, the fact that thieves do not fully comprehend magic means that there is a 25% chance that writings will be misunderstood. Furthermore, magic spells from scrolls can be mispronounced when uttered, so that there is an increased chance per level of that spell that it will be the reverse of its intent. These primary, secondary, and tertiary functions are displayed on a table hereafter. Thieves cannot build strongholds as some other classes or characters do. They can, however, build a tower or fortified building of the small castle type for their own safety, but this construction must be within or not more than a mile distant from a town or a city. Any thief character of 10th or greater level may use his small castle-type building to set up a headquarters for a gang of thieves, and he or she will accordingly attract from 4 to 24 other thieves. However, this will bring the enmity of the local thieves guild, and they will struggle to do away with the rival organization. Once begun, warfare will end only when and if all the master thieves on either or both sides are dead, or if the thief character removes to another locale. Alright, so here is our thieves table. Look at that great little illustration down there. Proportions seem a bit off, but that's okay. Still love it. So, experience points, level, hit points, and level title. Footpad. Filcher. That doesn't even sound like a good thing at 6th level. Magsman. I don't even know what that means. I've never even heard that word before. Magsman. All right. So one thing I think I misunderstood, Roger, was if maybe you were asking if the title of War Mage was out there. And as I'm looking through the level titles, I do not see a War Mage title. Nope, I don't. All right, so that was it for Thieves, I believe. What is next? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Whoa. Let me slow down a second. Thief function take plus racial adjustments. So base chance to pick pockets, open locks, find and remove traps, move silently, hide in shadows, hear noise, climb walls, and read languages. Did any of you guys ever play Thieves? Was this one of your favorite? I had a friend who almost exclusively played Thieves or Thief multi-classed characters because they were able to do so much really essential stuff. And especially when you look at the race of the Thief table down here, I mean, you're getting like tons of bonuses depend on your race. And it looks like, I mean, elves, gnomes, halflings are the best, of course. But you're getting some really great bonuses down here. It's pretty cool. I dig that. Notes regarding thief function table. Percentile dice are rolled to determine whether the thief is successful or not. Any score equal to or less than the percentage shown for the appropriate level of thief performing the designated function will indicate success. Picking pockets fails if a score above the percentage shown for the thief, for the level of thief attempting this function is generated. If the score is 21% or more above the number shown, the victim notices the thief's attempt. The potential victim reduces the thief's chance for success by 5% for every level of experience he or she is above the third, i.e., minus 5% at fourth level, etc. For example, a high-level thief, master thief, 12th level, is planning to pick the pockets of a magic user he has noticed nearby. The base chance for success is 100%. Jeez. The thief is a half-elf and adds 10% for racial ability. This thief also has 18 dexterity ability score, so another 10% is added. This total is a nice, safe 120% can't fail. However, the victim happens to be a 12th level also, so the subtraction is 9 times minus 5%, which equals negative 45%. This brings the chance for success down to 75%. A good chance, but if 96% or higher is rolled, the thief will be noticed, and success gains an item from the victim. This item is determined at a random from a list of possessions unless the exact location of a particular item is known by the thief. Opening locks may be attempted by any given thief, but once per lock. If score generated exceeds the adjusted, for ability and race, base score, the thief has failed, and no amount of trying will ever enable him or her to succeed with that lock, although the thief may try again when he or she has risen to a higher level of experience. Success opens the lock. Finding, removing traps is accomplished by exactly the same manner as opening locks. Roll for each function separately. A trap must be located before removal can be attempted. One try only per thief is allowed. Success deactivates the trap. Moving silently can be attempted each time the thief moves. It can be used to approach an area where some creature is expected, thus increasing increasing chances for surprise, or to approach to backstab, or simply done to pass some guard or watchman. Failure, a dice score in excess of the adjusted base score, means that movement was not silent. See surprise. Success means movement was silent. Sorry, I had to close my blinds. I got the light shining in my eyeballs. Hiding in shadows cannot be accomplished under direct observation. It can be accomplished with respect to creatures with infravision only if some heat-producing light source is near to the creature or the thief attempting to so hide. Success makes the thief virtually invisible until he or she moves. Note that spells such as Detect Invisibility or True Seeing will reveal a thief hiding in the shadows if such sight is directed towards him or her. I love that idea that this master thief is just like hiding behind a crate or something, and you're just staring right at him. He thinks he's hiding, so he doesn't think anything of it, but you're just like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? I'm watching you pick your nose. Hearing noise. Hearing noise is simply listening intently. The thief and his or her accomplices must themselves be quiet, but not silent as in moving. This function can be repeated as often as desired. It requires a full minute to listen, i.e. 1/10 of a normal turn or time equal to a melee round. Note that sleeping creatures, undead, and many other creatures do not make sounds discernible through a portal. Success informs the hearing that someone or something awaits beyond the portal. That's interesting. They do not make discernible sound through a portal. So just breathing and the normal sounds of sleep, some people snore and stuff. But like undead, they're shambling around, right? Unless it's like a spirit or something. Interesting. Climbing walls is attempted whenever needed and desired. It is assumed that the thief is successful until the midpoint of the climb. At that point, the dice are rolled to determine continued success. That's kind of messed up, right? Like if it's a big wall, why would you only care once he's in the middle of it? Like, can't you start climbing and, lose your handhold or something? It's kind of messed up, I think. Let's see. A score in excess of the adjusted base chance indicates the thief has slipped and fallen. Your referee will inform you of what amount of damage has been done from the fall. Success indicates that safe ascent or descent has been accomplished. Note that in some cases, a third d10 will have to be rolled to determine the success or failure. Reading languages can be attempted but once. Failure, a score greater than the percentage chance shown for the experience level of the thief, means that the language is not understood and no amount of reading will make it comprehensible. However, the thief can try again with each new experience level he or she gains. All right, the next one. I've actually never understood the difference between these two, so this will be interesting. The Assassin. Assassins are a subclass of the thieves, and they have the functions of the latter as well as their own. Thus, to be an assassin, a character must have a minimum strength of 12, an intelligence of 11 or more, and a dexterity score of not less than 12. Assassins do not gain any experience bonuses for having high ability scores. Just as do thieves, assassins have 6-sided dice, d6, for determining the number of hit points they can sustain. Assassins are evil in alignment, perforce, as the killing of humans and other intelligent life forms for the purpose of profit is basically held to be the antithesis of weal. They can, of course, be neutral as regards lawful and chaotic evil. As mentioned above, assassins have thieving capabilities and their own ability functions. Because they can use any sort of shield and weapon, they are generally superior to thieves in combat. An assassin character need not be a member of the Assassin's Guild of the town or city he or she dwells in, but all non-player assassin characters are members of such guilds. There is one such guild in most towns and cities, and each controls an area from 10 to 100 mile radius around the headquarters, town, or city. Any assassin discovered in a guild area who is not a member of the local Assassin's Guild will be invited to join, thus coming under the authority and command of the Guildmaster assassin. The assassin character need not join, but he or she will be under sentence of death if the character performs an assassination while not a guild member. Further discussion of assassins' guilds is given later. That is kind of scary, that every town you go in, there's an assassin's guild there. Jeez. The primary function of assassins is killing. They may use poison, ingested or insinuated by weapon. Poison ingested must be put into the food or drink, and the character performing this action must detail exactly when, where, and how the poisoning will be done. The DM will then adjudicate the action. Poisoned weapon, see poison, used run the risk of being noticed by others. All non-assassins within 10 feet of the bared weapon have a 10% cumulative chance each per melee round of noting the poison and attacking the poison-using assassin and or calling for the city watch. There is a 20% chance for attacking the assassin, a 50% chance for calling for the watch, and a 30% chance for shouting for the watch and then attacking the assassin. Jeez. Example. An assassin draws a dagger with a poisoned blade. The first melee round, it can be seen by 2 persons. The percentile dice are rolled for each, but unless 10 or less is rolled, they do not notice the venom. The next melee round, the 2 first seeing the weapon have a 20% chance of noticing the poison, and any others seeing it for the first time have but a 10% chance. If any onlooker does see the poison, percentile dice are rolled. A score of 01 to 20 indicates attack, 21 to 70 indicates a hue and cry for the watch, and 71 to 00 indicates both. What is the poison colored? Like, is it hot pink? Maybe assassins should choose a, translucent color for their poisons. And like everyone just has the chance of knowing what color poison is on a dagger. I think that's a little strange. I don't know. Assassins attack on the same combat tables as thieves do, including backstabbing. However, if they surprise a victim, they may attack on the assassination table. This gives a roughly 50% chance of immediately killing the victim. And if it fails, normal damage according to weapon type and strength ability modifiers still accrues to the victim. Thus, if a poisoned weapon is used, the victim must also make the saving throw versus poison or die. The assassin decides which attack mode he or she will use: assassination, backstabbing, or normal melee combat. Primary abilities of assassins which enhance their function are those of being able to speak alignment languages and being able to disguise, as follows. 1. Assassins with intelligence of 15 or more are able to learn an alignment tongue, even those special languages of druids and thieves. This ability is gained at 9th level assassin, and with each advance and experience level thereafter. The maximum number of alignment languages which can be spoken by an assassin is 4, 1 for each point of intelligence above 14, i.e. 1 at 15, 2 at 16, 3 at 17, and 4 at 18 intelligence. Note: an assassin would have to be of 12th level chief assassin and have 18 intelligence to be able to speak 4 alignment languages. The assassin may select from the following languages: chaotic evil, chaotic good, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, lawful good, lawful neutrality, neutral evil, neutral good, neutrality, druidic, and thieves' cant. 2. Disguise can be donned in order to gain the opportunity to poison or surprise a victim, or for other reasons. The assassin can disguise himself or herself so as to appear to be a human, semi-human, or humanoid creature of either sex. Disguise can lower height by 2 or 3 inches or raise it up by 4 or 5 inches. It can make the assassin look slimmer or appear much heavier. Disguise can make the assassin appear to be virtually any class of character, a simple pilgrim, a merchant, etc. There is a chance, however, that the victim or one of his or her henchmen or guards will notice the disguise. There's a base chance of 2% per day of a disguised assassin being spotted. This chance goes upwards by 2% if the assassin is posing as another class, another race, and or the opposite sex, maximum of 8% chance. Each concerned party, victim, henchman, bodyguards, in proximity to the assassin will be checked for immediately upon meeting the disguised assassin and each 24-hour period thereafter. The chance for spotting a disguised assassin goes downwards by 1% for each point below 24 of combined intelligence and wisdom of the observer concerned, i.e., a victim with an intelligence and wisdom combined total of 20 has reduced his or her chances of spotting the disguised assassin by 4%. The reverse is also true. Intelligence and wisdom above a combined total of 30 increase the chance of detection by 1% per point. Note: true seeing or a wand of enemy detection will discover an assassin, as will detect evil or no alignment in some cases. The secondary function of the assassin is spying. This mission can be coupled with the stealing of some item. Tertiary functions of assassins are the same as thieves. They have all the abilities and functions of thieves, but except for backstabbing, assassins perform thieving at 2 levels below their assassin level, i.e. a 3rd level assassin has the thieving abilities of a 1st level thief, a 4th level assassin the abilities of a 2nd level thief, etc. Performing an assassination will gain experience points for the character, awarded for both the fee paid and the level of the victim. These awards are determined by the referee on the basis of a formula given in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master Guide. Typical fees paid in gold pieces for assassinations are, and then let's look at this chart here, minimum fees for assassination. So a 1st level assassin trying to kill a 9th level character only gets 250 gold, which is a lot, but that's a huge risk for a 1st level assassin to undertake. I'm not sure how many would actually do that. Hey, Fo, how you doing? That's a good question. I like that. What's the alignment of the people in chat? I think I'm probably I'm not in chat, but I'll just say, I think I might be like a chaotic neutral, chaotic good. I'd like to think. I don't know. I guess other people would have to tell you what your alignment is based on your actions, because we think of ourselves one way, but, you know. All right. An assassin character cannot have any hirelings until he or she attains 4th level. At that time, lower level assassins may be taken into service. Upon attaining 8th level, the character may also include thieves amongst his or her hirelings. Upon attaining 12th level, the character may hire any class desired. Of course, only neutral or evil characters will serve an assassin. The total number of henchmen is that dictated by the character's charisma score. Followers are also possible, but these come only at the 2 uppermost levels of the assassin class. In order for an assassin character to gain experience levels above the 13th prime assassin, he or she must have the requisite experience points and then either assassinate the local guild master assassin, 14th level, or challenge him or her to a duel to the death. Likewise, a 14th level player character assassin can journey to the place where the grandfather of assassins, 15th level, has his or her headquarters and slay him or her by assassination or in a duel. Note that duplicity, trickery, ambush, and all forms of treachery are considered as fair by assassins. A higher level character can accept a challenge and then have the challenger slain by archers, for instance. As Guildmaster or Guildmistress assassin, a character will have a body of guild members which numbers between 7 to 28. Upon change of leadership, it is 75% likely that each guild member will leave the area. Thus, it will be necessary for the new guildmaster to allow new members into the guild. These new assassins will all be first level and must be worked up in experience levels. The maximum number of such followers of the local guild will be set by your referee. They are in addition to normal henchmen. Note that guild members are loyal only to strength, power, and profit. The headquarters of a guild is always within a large town or big city. It must not be a noticeable fortress or an ostentatious place. It is typically a warehouse or other nondescript structure with safeguards and traps added. This avoids attention and unwanted notoriety. All expenses of maintaining the guild and its members, excluding the guild master, are assumed to be fully paid for by normal guild activities. Any improvements, changes, the expenses of the leader, and all other special costs must be borne by the guild master assassin. The headquarters of the grandfather of assassins can be virtually anywhere and of any form: cavern, castle, monastery, palace, temple, you name it. However, if it is a large and obvious place, the headquarters must be located well away from all communities, such as in the midst of a murky woods, a dismal marsh or fen, a lonely moor, a deserted island, a remote coast, or far into forsaken hills or atop a mountain. Upon attaining the headship of all assassins, the new grandfather or grandmother must pay all remaining followers of the former head 1,000 gold pieces for each of their experience levels, destroy the old headquarters, and construct a new one somewhere else. All right, so let's look at this chart. This is our Assassins Thieves table. Used to have an original copy, huh, Remy? Yeah, I never had an original copy of this book. I always borrowed it from people who had it. I did have a Dungeon Master guide, like the old school DM guide with the thief picking the eye. Or was that this? No, that was the Dungeon Master's guide. Aaron, neutral good. That's pretty good. You're a good person, man. You're good people. All right. The Monk. Gotta love the Monk. The Monk is the most unusual of all characters, the hardest to qualify for, and perhaps the most deadly. That is why the class is given out of alphabetical order at the end of the section pertaining to character classes. To be a monk, a character must have the following minimum ability scores: Strength 15, Wisdom 15, Dexterity 15, and Constitution 11. Monks never gain any experience point bonuses. Dexterity gives them no armor class adjustment. Monks are monastic ascetics who practice rigorous mental and physical training and discipline in order to become superior. Therefore, they must always be lawful in alignment, although they can be evil, good, or neutral with respect to their approach to lawfulness. A monk who for any reason loses the lawful alignment loses all monk abilities and must begin again at first level character. Non-player character monks will be aligned as follows: 50% lawful good, 35% lawful neutral, and 15% lawful evil. A brief study of character classes, tables 1 and 2, will reveal that the monk appears to be quite weak, even considering that at the topmost level, a monk can have 18, albeit 4-sided hit die, an average of 45 hit points without constitution score additions, if any, and has a good selection of weapons to choose from. Monks have no spell ability, cannot wear armor or use a shield, and not even flaming oil is usable by them. This seems to make a weak character class indeed, but the impression is false, for monks have their own special attack and defensive capabilities, certain other powers, and most of the abilities of the thief class and some clerical type capabilities as well. So while the class has drawbacks, it is very strong. With respect to combat, monks attack on the same table as thieves. However, they add 1/2 of a hit point per level of experience to the amount of damage they score when they successfully attack an opponent with a weapon. This simulates their study and knowledge of weapons and anatomy. A first level monk scores times plus 1/2 hit point of damage, where times equals the damage done by the weapon used, and HP equals the number of hit points of damage. A second level monk does times plus 1 when he or she scores a hit, and third level times plus 1 1/2, and so on all the way to Grand Master of Flowers, who scores times plus 8 1/2 hit point damage. Monks of median level and above actually fight better without weapons, using their open hands, despite the weapon damage bonus they receive. That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard, Remy. Open hand combat damage is shown on Monk's Table 2 below. In addition, the monk has a chance to stun or even kill an opponent. An opponent is stunned by a monk of 1 to 6 d6 melee rounds if the score of the monk's 2-hit die score exceeds the minimum number required for a hit by 5 or more, i.e., if 15 is required, a score of 20 would indicate a stun. The 2-hit score rolled by the monk are never modified by any strength ability bonus. The chance to kill is a percentage which equals the armor class, AC, of the opponent, modified by the number of experience levels above 7 which the monk has attained. AC minus 1 is a negative chance for killing, as an example, but a monk of 9th level, 2 above 7th, would allow a 1% chance of killing. Note that 1, the monk must score a hit, and 2, the hit must stun the opponent, and 3, the percentile score must be equal to or less than the armor class of the stunned opponent, modified by the monk's levels over 7th, in order to score a kill. Open hand fighting also allows the monk multiple attacks at such time as the monk has attained the 4th or higher experience level. Monks make saving throws on the table used by thieves, but they gain certain advantages. Non-magical missiles, arrows, bolts, bullets, thrown daggers, thrown javelins, thrown spears, etc., which would normally hit, can be dodged or knocked aside if the monk is able to make his or her saving throw against petrification for each such potential hit. In other respects, if a monk makes his or her saving throw against an attack form, the monk will sustain no damage from the attack, even if the attack form was a fireball, for instance. A monk can redirect, dodge or knock aside a fireball. How awesome is that? At 9th level, Master of the North Wind or higher, a monk who fails to make his or her saving throw will still sustain but 1/2 of the total potential damage which the attack form could deliver if possible. That is, a fireball would do 50% of total damage, but the gaze of a basilisk would still petrify the monk. At first level of experience, a monk is as likely to be surprised as any other character, i.e. 33 1/3%. This chance goes down to 32% at second level, and it thereafter goes down 2% per level. So there's only a 30% chance of surprising a third level monk, 28% chance at 4th level, 26% chance at 5th level, etc. Monks have the following thief abilities, which they perform at identical level of experience to that of a thief, i.e., a first-level monk performs as a first-level thief, a second-level monk as a second-level thief, etc. The abilities are 1. Open locks. 2. Find remove traps. 3. Move silently. 4. Hide in shadows. 5. Hear noise. 6. Climb walls. Although the chance of falling while climbing walls is the same as that of a thief of equal level, monks can escape taking damage as follows. At 4th level, Disciple, a monk can fall up to 20 feet if he or she is within 1 foot of a wall. At 6th level, Master, a monk can fall up to 30 feet if he or she is within 4 feet of a wall. At 13th level, Master of Winter, a monk can fall any distance if he or she is within 8 feet of a wall. They could do that superhero drop that you see every superhero do, like one hand on the ground, one knee on the ground, without taking any damage at 13th level from any height. They're like Jedi. That's awesome. The monk must have an opportunity to periodically make contact with the wall during the descent. The wall is used by the monk to slow the fall so that it takes no hit points of damage. So that no hit points of damage are sustained from the fall. Note that when reference to a wall is made, any similar surface, such as a tree trunk, cliff face, and the like, are equally useful to the monk. The other abilities of monks are shown on the monk's ability table. So let's go through these really quick here. First and foremost, Monk's Table 1, experience points and levels. You got your experience points, your level, your accumulated hit points, and your level title. Pretty cool names for the monks, I think. Let's see here. Monk Ability Table. Got your level title, your level, effective armor class, your move, your attacks per round. 4 attacks per round. Just Bruce Lee in it. Pow, pow, pow. Open-handed damage. They could slap you for 32 damage. Just take your head off. That's crazy. All right. Notes regarding special abilities. Each special ability is designated by a capital letter. A, the ability to speak with animals, as druids do, which begins at 3rd level of experience. B, the ability to mask the mind so that ESP has only a 30% chance of success. This power begins at 4th level, and with each level of experience which the monk gains thereafter, the chance for success of ESPing the monk's thoughts drops by 2%, i.e. 28% chance of success on a 5th level monk, 26% on a 6th level, etc. Quick side note here. I was reading the annotated Dragons of Winter Night, and Alana Starbreeze actually uses telepathy in that book with her group. And the annotation, I think it's from Margaret Weiss, says that elves from the beginning had the ability to use telepathy to speak without using their mouths, just using their minds to communicate back and forth. But the practice of it sort of slowly stopped being used in common world, and only the elven royalty ended up using it in the time at the beginning of the War of the Lance. And after the War of the Lance, it just stopped being used altogether. So just a note for all of you role-playing in the earlier ages of Krynn, or in the early ages of the Age of Despair in Dragonlance, Sylvanesti royalty can have telepathy. That's pretty cool. I never knew that before. Sorry, started geeking out about it. C. At 5th experience level, a monk is not subject to diseases of any sort, nor is he ever affected by haste or slow spells. D. The ability to use self-induced catalepsy to appear dead. This can be done perfectly, as the 6th or higher level monk is able to throw his or her body temperature and heart rate. The monk is able to maintain this state for twice the number of turns, 10-minute periods, which equal his level, i.e. 12 turns at 6th level, 14 at 7th, etc. E. At 7th level, the monk gains the ability to heal damage on his or her body. The amount of damage which can be healed is 2 to 5 hit points, d4 plus 1, and this amount increases by 1 hit point with each experience level gained thereafter, i.e. 3 to 6 hit points at 8th level, 4 to 7 at 9th, etc. This may be done once per day. The ability, F, the ability to speak with plants as druids do. This power is attained at 8th level. G, beguiling, charms, hypnosis, and suggestion spells have only a 50% chance of affecting a monk of the 9th level of experience. That is, the monk is 50% resistance to such magic. This resistance increases 5% per level thereafter, so that at 10th level such spells have a 45% chance of affecting the monk, 40% at 11th, and so on. Saving throws apply if resistance fails. H. Telepathic and Mind Blast attacks. See Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual, Mind Flayer. Upon a monk of 10th level or higher, are made as if the character had an 18 intelligence due to the monk's mental discipline. I. At 11th and higher levels of experience, monks are not affected by poison of any type. J. Geese and quest spells have no effect upon monks of 12th level or higher. K. The last ability gained, and perhaps the most terrible power, is that fabled attack which enables the monk to set up vibrations in the body of the victim, and the monk can then control such vibrations so as to cause death to occur when the monk stops them. Known as the quivering palm, the monk merely touches his victim to set up the deadly vibrations. The victim can be virtually any creature. This power is limited as follows. 1. It can be attempted but once per week, and the monk must touch the intended victim within 3 melee rounds, or the power is drained for 1 week. 2. It has no effect on the undead or creatures which can be hit only by magic weaponry. 3. The victim cannot have more hit die than the monk using the power, and in any event, the total hit points of the victim cannot exceed those of the monk by more than 200%, where the power has no effect. 4. The command to die, the control of the vibrations, must be given by the monk within a set time limit, or else the vibrations simply cease of their own accord and do no damage whatsoever. The time limit of death command is 1 day per level of experience the monk has gained at the time the power is used. There are a number of strictures with monk characters which monk characters must abide by. These restrictions apply to 1. Armor and weapons, 2. Treasure, 3. Magic items usable, 4. Strength ability adjustments, 5. Henchmen, and 6. Advancement in level as follows. 1. Armor, as previously stated, cannot be worn. Weapons usable by monk characters are shown on Character Classes Table 2. Weapons not listed cannot be used. 2. Much like paladins may not retain more than a small fraction of whatever treasure they gain, a monk may possess no more than 2 magic weapons and 3 other magic items, see 3 below, at any time. While monks may retain money sufficient for their modest needs and to support their henchmen, see 5 below, all other treasure and excess magic items must be bestowed upon non-player religious institutions. See also followers hereafter. 3. Magic items usable by monks include all magical varieties of weapons listed, unless prescribed, rings and those miscellaneous magic items which are usable by thieves. No other magical items of any sorts may be employed by monks. So just rings and magical weapons. Interesting. 4. Monks do not gain any bonuses either with respect to increasing to-hit probability or to increase hit points of damage for strength ability. 5. Until attaining the rank of Master, monks may not have any hirelings or henchmen at all. At 6th level of experience, monks may hire persons on a short duration basis, for the duration of a single adventure only. At this level, they may also acquire up to 2 henchmen. Henchmen may be fighters, but not paladins nor rangers, thieves or assassins, which, with each level of experience above the 6th, which the monk attains, he or she may add 1 additional henchman until the maximum number established by the monk's charisma score is reached. Monks will gain followers upon attaining 8th level. This is discussed hereafter. 6. There can be only a limited number of monks above 7th level, Superior Master. There are 3 8th level Master of Dragons, and but 1 of each higher level. When a player character monk gains sufficient experience points to qualify him or her or 8th level, the commensurate abilities are attained only temporarily. The monk must find and defeat in single combat, hand-to-hand without weapons or magic items, one of the 8th level monks. The white, the green, or the red. The same must be done at the 9th level and higher. The loser of these combats loses enough experience points to place him or her at the lowest number possible to attain the level just beneath the new level. The monk character will know where to locate the higher level monks, and he or she must proceed immediately to do combat or else lose experience points equal to the number which will place him or her at the lowest number possible to have attained the level just beneath that of the monk he or she should have sought out but did not. That is, the player character drops to 7th level in the above case and must then work upwards once again. Wow! That's wild. All right, you had a tiefling bard that had a drum strapped to their back and played it with their tail. All right. That's pretty funny. Certainly some of the Kender abilities and handler abilities are very bard-like. But they are very customized for Dragonlance. Wish you could get the Lord of the Rings style trilogy for Dragonlance. Yeah, you mean both, Bob. Thanks for joining live. I would love a Netflix series more, actually, Justin, because then we get to spend more time. I haven't watched the Castlevania one, Bob, but I'll have to check it out. I keep hearing good things about it. Followers. When a monk player character attains the 8th level of experience, he or she will gain a number of monks as followers upon defeating the monk which held the 8th level position that the character has now gotten. He or she will attract from 2 to 5 first level monks if the player character has a monastery or monastery-like building to use as a headquarters. These followers may be worked upwards in levels of experience. The player character will attract 1 or 2 additional monks of first level for each additional level of experience the player gains. While followers of a monk are as loyal as his or her other henchmen, they automatically leave service when they attain the level of Superior Master, 7th. All followers will be of the exact same alignment as the monk player character. If he or she changes alignment, the current follower will desert, but new ones can still be gained by advancement in levels. The monastery or monastery-like headquarters of the monk can be that of the character he or she defeated to attain 8th or higher level, or it can be a building specifically constructed by the monk player character after attaining 8th or higher level. In the latter case, the monk may retain up to 250,000 gold pieces value in treasure in order to finance the construction of the place. He or she may also retain sufficient funds thereafter to maintain such a place. Note that the monk followers require no support, upkeep, or pay of any sorts. All right, now we are on the multi-classed character. Give me a second to get a sip of coffee here. I enjoyed the War of Souls trilogy, and after that, I always forget the Dark Disciple trilogy. A lot of people were bummed because there were so many changes in the Dragonlance Saga from that point. You know, the Age of Mortals was a massive shift in both novels and gaming. And then the War of Souls tried to bring it all back, which, you know, was nice, but didn't quite get there. And then the Dark Disciple trilogy, I think, did finally get it there. So if anyone wants to read kind of a sexy, undead, you know, sort of vampire-like story, the first book in the Dark Disciple trilogy is awesome. And it brings forward Chemish as a god, which you never even hear about. But he's really cool in this. They sort of reworked the god for the trilogy. It's really great. Okay. The multi-classed character. The game assumes that only non- or semi-human characters can be multi-classed, and only certain class combinations are possible. I can't believe this whole time this has been saying character races, and I haven't changed it to classes. Oh man, I wish someone would have mentioned that. It's my fault, of course, but yeah, that's terrible. Sorry, guys. Ugh. The game assumes that only non- or semi-human characters can be multi-classed, and only certain class combinations are possible, depending on the race of the character. Although these are listed in section dealing with the race of a character, multi-class character possibilities are also shown below in order to aid in selection of your character's class or multi-class. Cleric combinations with fighter types may use edged weapons. Cleric Fighter. This combination is strong in defensive and revitalization capabilities, plus the offensive missile and melee combat power of the fighter. Hit points average will be good. Half-elves and half-orcs may be cleric fighters. Cleric Fighter Magic User. One of the best of the multi-class options, this gives good offense and defensive spell capability, plus the fighter's melee combat strength. Half-elves may be Cleric Fighter Magic Users. Cleric Ranger. See Cleric Fighter above. This combination is potent in outdoor situations as well. Half-elves may be Cleric Rangers. Cleric Magic User. This combination gives the character a great variety and selection of spells, as well as the use of armor and more weapons. Hit points are somewhat better than those of the Magic User class alone. Half-elves may be Clerics Magic Users. Cleric Thief. This is a combination of classes which gives both defensive and stealth potential. Hit points are improved with regard to the Thief class only. As with all Thief class combinations, however, any functions as a Thief are under the restrictions of that class with regard to armor, i.e., only leather armor and no shield. Half-orcs may be Cleric Thieves. Cleric Assassin. Seemingly strange, this combination is quite understandable when the race which can operate in these two classes at the same time is noted. The combination gives great potential in defensive and stealth situations and very powerful assassination attack capabilities. Hit points are good because of clerical hit dice. Half-orcs may be Cleric Assassins. Fighter Magic User. Obviously, this combination allows excellent armor protection, the use of weaponry, and spells. Hit points are good on the average. 5.5 plus 2.5 equal 8, divided by 2 equals 4 hit points per double class level. Elves and half-elves may be Fighter Magic Users. Fighter Illusionist. See Fighter Magic Users above. Gnomes may be Fighter Illusionists. Fighter Thief. By combining these two classes, the armor, weapons, and combat capabilities of the fighter with the stealth and other abilities of the thief, a very effective character is created, even though thieving functions restrict the character to leather armor and no shield. Hit points are good. Dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-elves, half-orcs, and halflings may be fighter thieves. Fighter Assassin. This combination gives excellent missile and melee combat ability, plus assassination and stealth potential. Hit points are good. Half-orcs may be Fighter Assassins. Fighter Magic User Thief. Combat, spell, and stealth capabilities are given to the character who opts this multi-class combination. This is a very powerful mix. Hit points are good. 5.5 plus 2.5 plus 3.5 equal 11.5 divided by 3 equals 4 on the average. Elves and half-elves may be Fighter Magic User Thieves. Magic User Thief. This combination does not offer all of the options open to a Fighter Magic User Thief, but advancement is usually more rapid. Average hit points are fair, i.e. 3 per level. Elves and half-elves may be Magic User Thieves. Illusionist Thief. See Magic User Thief above. Gnomes may be Illusionist Thieves. The character with two classes. Unlike multi-classed characters who are of non- or semi-human race, the character with two classes must be human. To attain the second class, the character must switch his or her profession at some point. Thereafter, no progression in the original class is possible. In order to switch from one class to another, the character must have an ability score of 15 or more in the principal attribute ability of the original class and a 17 or 18 in the principal attribute of the class changed to. Note that nearly any combination of classes is thus possible, i.e. cleric and fighter, cleric and paladin, cleric and ranger, etc. Alignment will preclude some combinations. When the character opts to cease his or her old profession and become a new class, the character retains the number of hit dice at the commensurate hit points due to a character of the level of his or her class. However, all other functions of the character are at first level of experience, for that is his or her ability in the new espoused class. Furthermore, if during the course of any adventure the character resorts to the use of any of the capabilities of functions of his or her former class, the character gains no experience for the adventure. Having switched classes, the character must perform strictly within the parameters of his or her new profession. Reversing to the former class negates all experience potential for the new class with respect to the course of recent activities, i.e., the adventure during which original profession functions were resorted to. At such time as the character has attained a level of experience in his or her new class which exceeds the character's former class level, the following benefits are gained. 1. A hit die appropriate to the new class is gained for each increase in level of experience, up to the maximum normal for the class in question, and thereafter hit points are likewise gained. And 2, the character may mix functions freely and still gain experience, although restrictions regarding armor, shield, and/or weapon apply with regard to operations particular to one or both classes. Example: a character with ability scores of 15 strength, 17 intelligence, 12 wisdom, 10 dexterity, 16 constitution, and 7 charisma is begun as a fighter. After attaining 6th level, the player switches the character to magic user. This allows the character to retain 6 10-sided hit dice, but in all other respects, he or she must be a 1st level magic user, wearing no armor, carrying those weapons usable by his or her new class, and using spells to combat opponents. When 7th level of the level experience is gained, however, the character gets a 4-sided hit die for additional hit points he or she can sustain at the new level. Furthermore, the character can now carry, but not wear, armor and weapons not normally usable by magic users, and resort to their use if the need arises and not be penalized in respect to experience as a magic user, for he or she has already surpassed in the new class the disciplines of the former. Thus, no harm accrues to his or her experience as a magic user. Note that this does not allow spell use while wearing armor, such as Elf Fighter Magic User is able to do. And that is the end of the character classes section. We now begin with alignment, and I'm not entirely sure I want to continue because it's already been an hour. So, thanks for joining, Remy. I appreciate you. Have a good day at work. Yeah, Aaron, the Saga system was very different. I actually ended up enjoying it. I used the cards much like a tarot deck. So it's sort of, you play off of the characters shown on the deck, the alignment and stuff in order to discern, what happens. I don't know. It was kind of fun for what it was. I enjoyed it. They tried to make Palin Majir the new Raceland, but it wasn't the same. No, it wasn't. You cannot replace Raceland at all. Not to mention Palin was a good guy. I agree with you, Bob. The Chaos War was fantastic in Dragonlance, but leading to the Age of Mortals, which was disappointing. Age of Mortals was a rough one for me. I'm not sure. I really enjoy the former ages. All right. Yeah, Age of Might and Age of Despair are my two favorite. Yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live to this Advanced Dungeons & Dragons reading. I apologize about the title being wrong throughout the entire episode, which is really frustrating for me. But, the reading was a lot of fun, and getting to know all about all those different character classes, I think are very fascinating for me. It's all new information for me. I mean, I played this back in the day, but I never did a read-through of all the books. I just focused on what I played. So there was a lot of mystery surrounding the other characters, races, and classes that are now evident. But that's going to do it for this episode. Do you think classes in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons are too difficult to set up compared to modern editions? Do you prefer the older editions over the newer ones? And would you watch an Advanced Dungeons & Dragons game live played? Feel free to email me at info@dragonlance-saga.com or comment below. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, and you can support this channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, a member of this YouTube channel, and you can pick up Dragonlance Gaming materials using my affiliate link. All links in the description below. This channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the Dragonlance Saga, and I hope you'll join me in the celebration. Thank you for watching. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, Slan Javar.